Now, welcome back to the channel for another News from Naboo, I think we might call this.
I like it because it's a double meaning.
Because it's going to be you bringing us the news and then us kind of reacting and giving our thoughts on it. So let's,
I've got two stories for today.
Let's right away get into it. And
Yep.
if you like that name, let us know. Or if you think that's kind of really, come on, guys, you can do better than that. Let us know in the comments below what you think.
Call it Thor's Lightning News.
There you go. That works too.
Yeah, because your name's in it.
Exactly.
Okay, so the first story today is going to be John Williams.
Potentially, probably, the rumor. I don't know if this is 100%
it's
confirmed.
been rumored or heard that he was in Los Angeles, that he was working on a piece or something in a door titled Kenobi. Is he scoring the whole thing? Most likely not.
He's 90 years old. I think a lot of,
But maybe he's doing the title theme.
That would be amazing. I would be happy just to have a title theme done by him, because this is classic Star Wars right here with Kenobi. I've liked what they've done with The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett, but John Williams is Star Wars as much as anybody, as much as George Lucas.
Maybe he can't help but keep his toe in the door.
Yeah. I mean, I obviously don't think at 90 he's going to score the whole thing.
No.
That's 6 episodes.
But I would be happy with him doing the title score.
Yeah. Like I said, he is as much responsible for Star Wars as pretty much anybody. When you think about just what that score did for that first movie, that the way it opens and everything about it, especially back in the 70s, where synthesizers and everything was any kind of sci-fi movie was very futuristic, or what they thought the future was going to sound like.
Sounds just like that.
Yeah, very kind of strange and weird kind of music, and it was embraced the idea of having this grand orchestra.
Absolutely.
And that right there, can you imagine what Star Wars would be like if you had that, that twangy, the kind of weird music from the 70s
I don't
and 80s,
want to imagine that.
So, where would we be today without John Williams? Where would Star Wars be without John Williams? So, him getting to hopefully come back and do something for Kenobi, that is the coolest news.
I hate that that news is out there, because if it's not true, I'll be so disappointed.
I know, it's one of those stories where you're like, please be true, because that would be so cool. And he, this is probably the last. I mean, he's 90. Maybe he'll do something else.
We said it's probably the last how many times for him? So we'll just see what he wants to do.
Well, I mean, the unfortunate part is, like, The Rise of Skywalker was supposed to be his, he was going to do a culmination of all the different themes. And, I love John Williams, but it wasn't, like, his most impressive work. And granted, he's an older man, so we weren't expecting... Maybe people were, but I know I feel like I'm going to get torched in the comments for having any kind of. Please don't. But I think you know what I'm saying. At that age, it's not easy, and he did it anyway. Which I'm just happy he did it. I'm happy he has scored every single movie in the Star Wars, the Skywalker saga. I'm happy about that. But no, I don't think it was his best work, and we can discuss whether it was the original trilogy or the prequel trilogy. Where did he?
I really liked the theme he actually wrote for Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, he also did one in Solo, didn't he?
I believe so. I may have to fact check that one later. When I'm editing, if you see a disclaimer pop up.
I'm pretty sure he did one for Solo, but I'm not 100% sure.
I can't recall.
Either way, if this is true, it's fantastic news, and it's one of those things. I really hope it's true, because he is, like I said, he is as much Star Wars as anybody else out there.
Oh, absolutely, and it just would be great for fans and
great for him too. Want to give it another try. His
legacy is already amazing.
Yeah, It's not like he needs this one to cement his legacy. Yeah, that was cemented decades ago, but a little nice cap on what has been, in my opinion, the greatest career. Composer, a movie composer has ever had. I don't know that there's anybody that rivals him.
There are people who are trying. Maybe Hans Zimmer coming up in the works. Danny Elfman, who I will mention.
Lord of the Rings.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying nobody else has ever created some fantastic music, but
for
me, John Williams is king.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no way around saying that.
Yeah.
I get to put my John Williams in the crown up there again, because he's the king.
All right. Well, he is the king, but let's move on.
All right. So the Star Wars Obi-Wan comic revealed the official synopsis for the first issue. We also know now that it's going to kick off in May, so they're probably going to give us some lead-in to the series. And it's going to take place in the weeks prior to A New Hope. Well, at least the current story, but he's going to be flashbacking.
Yeah, he's going to be writing in his journal, it seems, for...
This is going to take place his final days and, weeks before he leaves Tatooine. He's going to reflect and record the key moments of his life into the journal that we know Luke will find later.
Yeah, he finds in the comics.
In the comics later, sorry.
Yeah.
So he's going to remember his days as a young Jedi, initiate his trials as a paladin.
As a paladin,
as a
wow.
Padawan.
He did a lot on Tatooine that we didn't know about,
the
apparently.
Crucible of Jedi Knighthood, the Clone Wars, and some of the earliest challenges he faced to become a true master of the Force. In the first tale, he's considering his youngling adventure when he narrowly survived on Coruscant when he was 8. We know he started training earlier than that, so this is during his youngling, possibly early Padawan times. I know I'll probably have some pictures up, some of the cover art from the first issue. But yeah, so this is going to be Obi-Wan recounting stories of importance from his life.
Okay, so let's get to cool. I'm going to read it regardless because I read it all, but let's get to the big question. Will this actually matter to the Kenobi series? Will it actually be connected in any way, shape, or form? Now you're like, well, it's coming out in May. It's coming out literally at the same time, so of course it is, but I look at something like War of the Bounty Hunters, which features Boba Fett post Empire Strikes Back. It has him, interacting with the crime lords. All the crime lords, basically, all the Hutts, I should say, get, killed except for Jabba in this. We see all the other, crime syndicates. Everything feels like, well, this could be a setup for the Book of Boba Fett. And it has absolutely nothing to do with the Book of Boba Fett.
Honestly, if the only relation is at the end of the Kenobi series, you see him thinking about or pulling out a journal to write in, that might be the only connection they put in, honestly.
But if he's starting the journal here, then that wouldn't even make sense, right?
You could just be contemplating starting one.
I guess.
I should write this down someday.
Yeah, one of these days I should start a journal. So, the big question is...
Or if he somehow references back to one of the events that'll take place in the comics, that would be nice.
Well, yeah, but here's the interesting question. We already have some Kenobi stories set somewhere between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope in the comics. And the mainline Star Wars, the first volume of it, there are like 3 issues of Kenobi. We see even Black Chrysanthemum is in there. The question is, will they completely retcon those in the upcoming series?
Please no.
What are the odds, though? Like a 1% chance that they don't retcon them and actually pretend they exist? I'm just
sick of them retconning everything they said they weren't going to retcon.
Yeah, that was the big promise when they discarded the EU. Like, everything is going to be connected. You read a comic, it's the same universe, until we decide it's not the same universe.
And then we had the Ahsoka book, which had this whole story about what happened when she captured Maul.
Yep, completely
discarded.
And
then they discarded all of that section of the book. I'm not saying the stuff that happened after that when she, rebuilt her lightsabers and all that. That still took place, technically.
Sure, probably.
Because that hasn't been retconned away.
Yet. We also have the Kanan comic, which actually was one of the better comics I've read. That got pretty much retconned by the Bad Batch. We have Yoda's lightsaber, which was supposed to be destroyed in the Vader comics, which makes an appearance in the Book of Boba Fett.
Next.
He could have made another lightsaber. That one's,
when he was on Dagobah.
That one's easier to explain, sure.
He could have made a second lightsaber.
But these are just a couple examples of how, the movies, the shows, they really don't care what the books are doing, or the comics and the books are doing.
No, unfortunately, they seem to just ignore a lot of it, which is a shame.
It is a shame, and I hope, I thought the War of the Bounty Hunters could be the start of something new, could be the start of a trend where we actually, we try to link the two together, at least in some small way. Maybe this will be, because if it's not, if you're going to release a Kenobi series in the comics, when a Kenobi series is going on in the, on Disney Plus, and you have no sort of connection, they don't pretend, they don't exist to each other, if you will, then what is the point of trying to even play pretend anymore that the comics and books matter? Yeah, and it just brings up, why do I read these? Because
if they don't matter.
If they don't matter. And I know you can
they
read
matter
them,
until they don't.
Yeah, you can read them for the sake of enjoyment. Some of them have been good, but there's a lot that, I read it all because I'm trying to keep tabs on the whole canon, and if it doesn't matter to the canon, there's plenty of these books that I would skip because I have absolutely no interest in reading it. I'm only reading it to just keep up on everything. And so, obviously, they don't want to say this isn't canon because that would, scare away people like me and probably a lot of other people.
Yeah.
But anyway, I could probably go on and on about this topic, but it's a very frustrating as someone who does try to, who is interested in the little details and tries to keep up on the whole canon. And just constantly learning it doesn't matter, that they'll disregard it and toss it away at a moment's notice. It's not the pitch where they were, we were led to believe when they got rid of the EU. There was that promise that everything, game, comic, movie, show, it's all going to be connected, and we're going to have this Lucasfilm story group. They're going to make sure it all remains consistent. And over the years, they kind of keep backing away from that. Like, well, it doesn't have to be perfectly. There's wiggle room. Well, that's not exactly what you said at the start. So, but anyway, I don't want to ramble and complain about this too much. It's an unfortunate thing that I was really excited for, because there are, even in the expanded universe, which I love, there's plenty of inconsistencies there too. So the idea that we were going to have something 95% consistent, I wasn't expecting perfection. It was really appealing to me. I wouldn't say it was worth getting rid of the EU for, but at least it was a consolation prize. Well, at least now we know going forward everything's going to be very streamlined and consistent and coherent, but didn't get it. Well, I guess that's all we got for you this time.
Yeah.
Now it's your turn to take to the comments below. Tell us what you think about the possible return of John Williams to Star Wars. Mm-hmm. Tell us what you think about the comics. Do you read them? Does it bother you that they don't matter in the grand scheme of things? Or do you not read them and don't care at all? Whatever the case may be, leave your comments below. Let us know what you think about the name of the series. And until next time, thanks for watching.